to the Off-Grid family. Today I'm going to be doing an experiment. I've always wanted to know if you can grow mushrooms from store-bought mushrooms, and we bought a huge amount of them which we dehydrated. We've canned some, we've eaten some and so on, but there was some that were a bit too far gone. So what we're going to do is just see what we can do. Now, I've watched a lot of different videos on how to do it and I've read up on it, and there's a bit of a mixed yes you can, no you can't, so I'm just going to try it. I'll show you what I'm going to use and see if it works. Let's get on. Okay, this is what I'm going to be using. I've got strips of cardboard, I've got strips of newspaper, and then these are the old mushrooms. I'm actually going to soak these now I should be soaking them overnight, but I can't really be bothered. So I'm going to soak them till I think they've absorbed enough water, and we'll go from there. Right, I've got these 2 tubs left over from Christmas, and this is what I'm going to use for the actual mushrooms. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drill some random sized holes. I've got these 3 different drill bits. I've got a 6mm, 7mm, and then this, it's just a thingy cutter, but I'm going to use that to cut some bigger holes. So I just want to see if, I've heard that small drill bits will still get the same results as big ones. I'd like to just see. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill random holes in the top and then just around the side up quite close to the top on both of them, and then I'm going to start filling it. Now, it is the next day, so the cardboard and the paper has actually had over 12 hours to soak, which is what you're supposed to do, but I was hoping to get this done yesterday, but I just haven't had a chance. Right, I've done the first one. Let me move that out of the way, and I've done 3 big holes, then I've done some of the medium sized holes and I've put them in sort of like a pattern so we can see if that has anything to do with it. And then on this, I haven't done any of the big holes because they were a nightmare to drill and I didn't want to break the plastic, but I've done 2 small, 2 small, then 2 big, 2 middle, 2 middle. So it's like, if there's any light coming in from somewhere, it shouldn't skew the results if we've got them coming through all of the holes, kind of thing. So I'm going to do the next one, and then I've got to get on with straining all the paper off. Okay, so we're ready to do the fun bit now, which is I'm going to layer the newspaper and cardboard in here, and then we're going to add mushrooms a bit more and just layer it up like a cake, and then put the lid on. And I don't know why I said a cake. There's much better layer things. Well, there is a layer cake, I suppose, but yeah. Anyway, that was a bit of a tangent. I do apologise. Let's get on with it. Okay, when I was coming up with how I was going to do this, I was originally going to have it so I was going to layer up cardboard layers, then paper layers, and so on and so on. I'm just going to literally grab whatever and chuck it in. I'm going to make a bit more of a thicker layer here, and then I'm just going to, put it in as and when. I'm no rhyme or reason, I'm just trying it. And as I say, this is all an experiment. This is not a tutorial, but I am just telling you what I'm doing, not this is how you should do it. Unless it turns out and we get a huge amount, then obviously if we do get a huge amount, I knew exactly what I was doing, and you should have followed me from the beginning and trusted me, yeah? Right, so that's about enough for that one. By the way, if you can hear bubbling, it's because I'm making more wine. I've become addicted to making wine, and luckily not addicted to drinking it, although I do like a good drink. I'm not going to lie. Alright. Just to clarify, when I say a good drink, I mean nice alcohol in moderation, not a good drink as in, lots and lots of alcohol, and it doesn't matter what I'm drinking. Paint thinner is not my favourite alcohol. Right, there we go. So there, I don't know, in some places, this one is got a thicker base than this one. In fact, I will put a bit more on in places. There you go. Right, now I'm going to put in our first layer of mushrooms, and I'm literally just going to take off the stalks and just chuck them in. I'm not really too bothered how they go in. I've watched people doing this where they've, only put certain bits in, but as I say, these are worse for wear. We've got mould growing on bits of them. Again, don't care, I'm just going to chuck it in anywhere. And as you'll see, I'm staggering it, so I've got the top and the stem. So we're going to do it like a chessboard, I think, on this one, just because, and that is the only reason. I'm just going to see what's what and go for that. The thing is, this is how I do a lot of my initial things, is I will come up with a plan, like, you know, staggering it like I'm doing now, and then I will, if it works, brilliant. If this, like, I will do this one differently, and if this one works better, it could be because it's not staggered and that doesn't work, or it could be that I've used different paper. Do you know what I mean? It just narrows down the potential, you know, what went right, what went wrong thing. That'll do. Right. Now, as I say with this one, I'm just chucking them in. No rhyme or reason, no pattern, no nothing. Obviously there will be a pattern, because I'm human. I won't be able to avoid having a pattern. The fact that I'm trying not to do a pattern will turn into a pattern, you know. But I'm just going to chuck them in, however, and see what happens. Oh, my nose is itching. Ah! Okay, now the next layer. This time I'm going to sort of plonk it on like that. I don't know whether, no, I'm not, I was going to say I don't know whether to cover up around here and like pack it in. I'm not going to, I'm just going to plonk it all on top. Now, one thing I should have done, which I, you know, in all of the literature I've read and all of the videos I've watched, they always say to put some drainage holes at the bottom. Because these are going to be inside and I'm too goddamn lazy to put them in something, which I probably will end up doing it anyway because I'm that kind of person, I didn't bother drilling any drainage holes at the bottom. That could be my downfall. They could end up going really badly mouldy, and if that's the case, I'll show the video anyway and just say how I failed and what not to do. I'm a firm believer in showing even your failures, because we as a human race do learn from our failures better than we learn from our actual, you know, our achievements. If we went through life never failing, then we'd never learn a thing, except how to be goddamn happy and probably rich. Right. Now, I did years ago try this, but not as an experiment. I bought a kit and it had all the bits and bobs in, and I did it exactly how they told me to, and the whole thing went mouldy and it smelt the worst smell. You know, it was one step down from the smell of a dead body. Not that I'd know about it, so don't check under my paving slabs, I mean. Think I got out of that one. So from the looks of things, the other one, the circular one, is just going to be a mismatch of stalks and stuff. But it's, again, that might be the way forward. We just don't know, or I just don't know, I should say. You could be screaming at your computer telling me how to do it, but believe it or not, screaming at your computer don't work. I can't hear that. The fact that you can hear me is a miracle. So that's that one, and then I get a feeling, I don't know where I read it and I didn't read it this time, the mycelium is around the actual stalk. I'm not sure if I'm right, I can't remember. That's one of those things where you don't know if you're not quite sure if it's a dream or not. Okay. This is going to be the last layer for this one, this square one. I'm going to just put another layer on top of that one, just because I can just use all the bits and pieces, and I want to be able to shut the lids, you see. Don't want any scary monsters growing out of this, you know. I got a friend of mine who literally eats raw mushrooms. Now, I don't mind the eating of raw mushrooms, that's not what I'm talking about, but he will buy an entire pack, and I'm talking like kilogram pack, and he will sit there and eat the whole pack. Oh, it makes me feel sick. I don't mind a bit of raw mushroom, but like a bit of raw mushroom, not like a field of raw mushrooms all at once, you know. I much prefer mushrooms cooked, but I do eat them raw occasionally in some situations. Right. I think it's the best thing I've ever done with newspapers. You know, reading them seems to be a waste of time nowadays. Actually, when I was doing this, it quite reminded me of the first ever video me and the kids made, which was when we were making our fire logs. I'll put a little link up in the top right hand corner. Don't know why I said right like that, but I did, so there. Right, that'll do. Might as well put everything in. Wouldn't it be amazing if this worked and it's this easy? You know, you can use lots of different things. You know, I'm using newspaper, but I've heard of people using coffee grounds. Now we don't have that. Oh, well, we do have coffee grounds in this country, but what I mean is, America and places like that tend to have, you know, only decent coffee. We have crap coffee here, unless you go to a coffee shop. You know, but we did have a coffee machine here. Spent quite a lot of money on it for Crystal. She does like her good, decent coffees. And the second I lost the receipt, and I'm taking credit for losing it, although I didn't lose it, and I know who did. And it wasn't Crystal for once. No, but I lost the receipt, and I was gutted, but it was like, that's fine. And then it just broke. Literally the next day, it just stopped doing anything. The light would turn on, but nothing else would happen. I tried cleaning it. I tried doing all sorts of things. And normally it would be the sort of thing I fixed, but I can't remember why I didn't in the end. I think, although I've got lots of different types of screwdrivers, I think it had a very weird set of screws on it that I just didn't have the screwdriver for, something like that. And I was gutted. You know, we still had about 200 pods for it, which was a bit annoying. We'd bought loads on offer, and obviously couldn't use them. But yeah, that was a bit of another tangent. But yeah, you can use that. You can use hay out of your rabbits. You can use pretty much whatever the hell you like, as long as it's going to hold moisture, and that you can cover the things. I did have some hay, and I was going to use that, and it got put in the rubbish because I sort of hadn't told anyone that I wanted it. So yeah, that was a bit annoying. Right, I say rubbish. It was put in the compost, but you know what I mean. There we go. Looking beautiful. Okay, sadly my mushroom experiment has died. Well, I haven't even checked it properly yet, but there are flies flying around it in the understairs cupboard and various other things. The second I started this project, the temperature just dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped. So I just think that it just wasn't anywhere near warm enough to sort of do anything. But I'm going to have a look in them now, and I'm not giving up. There is merit in this. It's just this one is, this experiment's over and I have to start again from scratch. But I will probably use these containers again though. I don't see a problem with that. I might go out and buy something a bit bigger. I might change the medium that I put them in, but we'll see. That's one for another day. Okay, let's take a look. And if all loads of flies fly out of here, I'll cry. Have a look. They're completely covered in mould. And I don't think it's stuff we want, but I don't know. I'm really not sure what to... Oh dear, was my arm in the way the whole time? Probably. I'm not sure what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm wondering if the newspaper was just too hard for them to get through, to come out to the surface, because this stuff doesn't even look mouldy. Can you see that? Okay, I'm not calling it quits yet. I'm going to cover them, put them back, and then see what happens. Okay, well, sadly this failed, and I think I know the reason why. When I'd actually put these, the first 3 days in my airing cupboard, the temperature dropped so much that it was just freezing in there. So what I think's probably just happened is it's just, not germinated, and, well, nothing's happened. I would say there's probably mould in here, but that's about all. But let's have a look. Yeah. So if you have a look here, We've got some lovely mould growing. Not going to breathe much of this in, so you'll hear me breathing deeply when I can. Yeah, and look. So nothing happened. Right, I'll go put this in the compost. Well, let's have a quick look at this one as well. Oh, even worse. So, yes. Both covered in nasty mould. I'm going to try again in the summer. Okay, so as you saw there, it was a complete fail. That happens sometimes. As I say, I think it was just the temperature dropped and dropped and dropped. I kept trying to keep the air in cupboard warm, but the cold was just, you know, emanating through everything, and like we'd wake up in the morning and the temperature downstairs was absolutely icy, so that was sad enough. But I'll try again. Well, I'll try again closer to the hotter times if I can. But as you can see behind me, it's Christmas now, so we're going to enjoy having Christmas stuff. If this comes out before Christmas, I hope you have a great Christmas. If it comes out after Christmas, which is more likely, then I hope you had a great Christmas. So, bit of lights there, happy days. No, anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye.